Tim Romero with Romero Insurance and Financial Services. A couple of years after my clients have implemented their Safe Money Retirement Plan, which secures their retirement income needs, many of them tell me that their favorite part of the plan is the annual reset. Now, the annual reset on a fixed indexed annuity is what makes a fixed indexed annuity so great as part of a safe money retirement strategy. Now, many of these clients have either been 100% vested in a stock market-based strategy and for years experienced the roller coaster ride that comes with the stock market. They've made big gains in the market, only to lose most or all of those gains back to the market during the inevitable downturns. Now they've entered the preservation stage of their lives, and the last thing they want to do is for their savings to go backwards as they plan for many, many years of retirement. That is why they're so excited about the annual reset of their fixed indexed annuity. In fact, Warren Buffett once said that the key to his success, the key to successful investing, planning for retirement, if you would, is to never lose. And that is what the annual reset allows us to achieve. Here's how it works. Now, let's say that you've entered the preservation phase of your life. You have $100,000, and you come to our offices, and now this is money that you're counting on, depending on for future income needs, and you want to make sure it's protected, but you also want the potential for above average growth. So we help you purchase a fixed indexed annuity. We select an interest crediting strategy based on one of the indexes available, which we believe will allow us the greatest potential to receive the highest interest gained. And after 1 year, we had some pretty good growth, say 3%. Now, this is certainly better than the CDs or money markets you were considering, and it's probably better than most of those safer stock market-based strategies that are so popular. And at the end of that first year, now our account value is now $103,000. Now, at the end of that first year, we're going to lock in that $3,000 gain, and it now becomes part of our guaranteed principal and can never be lost again in future years when the market goes negative. Now, that is the annual reset. Also, at the end of the first year, you'll have an opportunity to reallocate how your interest is earned. You don't have to make changes, but you do have the option if you want to. But it gets even better than that. Let's say that in year 2, we have an even better year, say a 6% interest return. And that brings our cash account value to $109,000. Again, at the end of that second year, we're going to lock in our gains, protecting them from future market volatility. Now, we know that what goes up in the stock market, at some point in time, it's going to have to come down. That's right. So in our hypothetical illustration, in year 3, the stock market loses value. Now, not as bad as it did in 2000, 2001, or 2008, 2009, when it dropped over 45% each time. But let's say we have a modest decline of 8% in year 3. Now, if you have been fully invested in the stock market, your cash account value would be somewhere near $100,000. You're 3 years into the preservation phase of your retirement or pre-retirement planning, and you're right back where you started. But if you had come to me 3 years ago and we would have started a safe money retirement plan and purchased a fixed indexed annuity with an annual reset, well, we would have then just patiently, confidently waited, not realizing any gains, but not taking any losses, knowing that as far as the stock market is concerned, what goes down has to go back up. In other words, we bide our time. Now, let's say that in our hypothetical illustration, the market rebounds in year 5 with a 5% gain. Our account value is now over $114,000. And what do we do at the end of year 5? You bet. We're going to lock in our gains just like we would do each and every year in our fixed indexed annuity. Now, if you'd have been fully invested in the market, you'd be scratching and clawing to earn back your losses, and in fact, it would have taken a 14% gain in year 5 just to be where you would be with your fixed indexed annuity. And remember that each and every year, including the year you lost 8%, you would have been paying somebody to manage your money to the tune of 1 or 2% a year, which means you really would have needed more than 14% to have the same account value as you have in your fixed indexed annuity. That is the power of the annual reset. Now, let's take a look at a real life example from one of the top rated companies that I work with. The red line represents our money if we'd have been fully invested in the S&P 500. The green line represents our fixed indexed annuity. In both cases, we let the chips fall where they may. In other words, for the entire time we have owned either strategy, we've made no changes at the end of each year. Now, even though we might have been limited on how much interest we could earn in any given year with our fixed indexed annuity, it still outperformed the stock market-based strategy. And that's even though the S&P 500 had some incredible gains in many of the years that we were tracking. Now, that's the power of the annual reset. If we never lose, then we don't have to have near the interest crediting on a year-in and year-out basis to stay ahead of the market. Think about the tortoise and the hare, steady and consistent, never losing, and then having to make up. Now, that's what wins the race and secures our retirement. One more thing. The blue line represents the minimum guaranteed contract value. Remember, annuities are guaranteed insurance contracts and thus have guaranteed minimum values. Even if we were to never have had one dime of interest credited to our account through our index strategy, the absolute minimum guaranteed value was almost equal to the stock market-based value. You just thought it couldn't get any better than that. Do you want more information on the annual reset and if it can benefit you in helping you secure your retirement? Call our offices today, 409-722-6739, or email me at tim@romeroinsurance.net to set up a no-pressure, no-obligation informational meeting. You can secure your retirement.